Before strict moral regulations closed the door on daring storytelling, a remarkable group of actresses set Hollywood screens on fire. These women broke conventions, defied expectations, and often paid a heavy price for choosing to live authentically. Their stories go beyond simple rebellion. They reveal the real cost of courage, fame, and independence in a society determined to limit women's freedom. Which actresses chose to live boldly without apology? And what sacrifices did that freedom demand? Let's look back at the women who truly changed the script of Hollywood history. Mae West was one of the most unforgettable figures of pre-code Hollywood, a powerhouse whose entire career celebrated independence, intelligence, and fearless humor. Long before arriving in Hollywood, she built her reputation in vaudeville, quickly discovering that controversy could attract attention. She even wrote her own stage plays, including Diamond Lil and Sex, the latter leading to her arrest on charges of corrupting public morals. Rather than damaging her reputation, the scandal only increased her fame. When she finally arrived in Hollywood, she carried that same bold personality with her. Her appearance in Night After Night immediately captured attention, and soon after, She Done Him Wrong became a massive success that helped rescue Paramount Pictures from financial trouble. West's witty dialogue and confident attitude challenged social expectations, making her beloved by audiences who appreciated humor and boldness during the hardships of the Great Depression. While critics and censorship groups worried about her influence, West openly supported women's independence and freedom of choice. As Hollywood censorship tightened, however, her scripts were cut, her roles softened, and eventually the industry pushed her aside. Even so, her legacy endured. Mae West proved that courage, humor, and individuality could reshape Hollywood itself. Jean Harlow, often called the original blonde bombshell, exploded onto the Hollywood scene with dazzling charisma and unmistakable energy. Her breakthrough came when she appeared in Hell's Angels, after which she dyed her hair platinum blonde, launching a national beauty trend. But Harlow's appeal went far beyond her appearance. In films like Red-Headed Woman and Red Dust, she brought a unique mix of humor, vulnerability, and confidence, portraying women who were both strong and emotionally real. Her characters boldly pursued their desires, openly challenging social expectations. While audiences loved her fearless attitude, censorship boards disapproved. When the production code was strictly enforced, the bold edge of her roles began to disappear. Her career changed as the industry demanded safer stories and more traditional characters. Harlow's tragic early death shocked fans, who mourned not only a movie star but a personality that had helped redefine what a leading lady could be. Norma Shearer represented another kind of pioneer, an actress who refused to accept the limitations placed on women in Hollywood. Early in her career she faced rejection, with critics claiming she lacked the beauty needed for film stardom. Determined to succeed, Shearer worked tirelessly to transform herself, carefully crafting her image through bold photography and serious acting study. Her performance in The Divorcee became a landmark moment. The film presented a woman who refused to simply forgive betrayal and instead chose independence, a decision rarely given to female characters at the time. The role earned Shearer an Academy Award and established a new standard for complex female storytelling. Yet when censorship grew stricter, studios pushed her toward safer, less daring parts. Despite these limitations, Shearer had already opened the door for actresses to portray stronger and more independent characters. Barbara Stanwyck built her career through determination and resilience. Raised in difficult circumstances, she worked her way from Broadway to Hollywood, quickly gaining recognition for portraying tough, independent women. In films like Ladies of Leisure and Babyface, she delivered performances filled with emotional honesty and strength. Her characters often faced difficult choices but handled them with dignity and realism, making audiences relate to their struggles during the hardships of the Great Depression. Censorship authorities viewed these stories as too modern, however, and once the production code took hold, many of Stanwyck's boldest roles disappeared. Even so, she continued acting for decades, adapting to new styles while maintaining the strong presence that made her famous. Kay Francis ruled Warner Brothers in the early 1930s, becoming one of the highest-paid actresses of her era. Known for her elegant style and distinctive voice, she captivated audiences in films such as Trouble in Paradise and Jewel Robbery. Her characters were often intelligent, independent women who refused to accept society's limitations. Although audiences loved her sophistication, censorship rules increasingly restricted such portrayals. As moral standards tightened, her roles were reduced and her popularity declined, eventually leading to the unfair label of box office poison. Despite these setbacks, Frances remained proud of the bold characters she had portrayed. Joan Blondell brought charm, humor, and emotional warmth to the screen. Beginning her career in vaudeville, she developed a sharp comedic style that translated perfectly to film. During the pre-code years, she became known for portraying hard-working women trying to survive difficult economic times. Films like Gold Diggers of 1933 and Footlight Parade displayed her ability to mix humor with emotional depth. Her characters were loyal, outspoken, and resilient, qualities audiences deeply appreciated during the Depression. As censorship grew stricter, however, Hollywood toned down the qualities that made her unique. Still, Blondell continued working in more than 100 film and television productions throughout her long career. Clara Bow was one of the most recognizable icons of the 1920s and early 1930s. Known as the It Girl, she represented the modern spirit of the Jazz Age. Her performances in films such as It and Call Her Savage introduced audiences to female characters who were energetic, independent, and willing to pursue their dreams. Bow's natural acting style made her characters feel vibrant and authentic. Yet her honesty and openness also attracted intense media scrutiny. Tabloid stories and industry pressure eventually made Hollywood life overwhelming. As censorship increased and studio control tightened, Bow chose to step away from the industry, leaving behind a legacy that inspired generations of actresses. Marlene Dietrich embodied classic Hollywood glamour while constantly challenging social expectations. Her international breakthrough came with The Blue Angel, after which she captivated audiences in films like Morocco and Shanghai Express. Off-screen, Dietrich challenged traditional gender roles, famously wearing tailored suits and creating a unique and androgynous style. Her independence sometimes puzzled studio executives and alarmed censorship authorities. Yet she refused to compromise her individuality, later performing for Allied troops during World War II and speaking openly about political issues. Greta Garbo possessed a mysterious presence that made audiences silent with anticipation. Known for powerful performances in films such as Mata Hari and Grand Hotel, Garbo portrayed women of intelligence and emotional complexity. Unlike many stars, she carefully protected her private life, rarely granting interviews and avoiding publicity whenever possible. Her commitment to strong female roles sometimes clashed with studio expectations. When censorship made such roles increasingly rare, Garbo eventually chose to leave Hollywood rather than accept less meaningful work. Ruth Chatterton also built a career portraying strong, ambitious women. In the film Female, she played the head of a large automobile company, a role rarely given to women at the time. Her characters often demonstrated independence and leadership, presenting a new vision of women's possibilities. When censorship reduced opportunities for such roles, Chatterton turned to other achievements, becoming both a successful novelist and a licensed pilot. Myrna Loy enjoyed a long career, but her pre-code roles revealed a playful and fearless personality. After initially being typecast in exotic roles, she found lasting success in the Thin Man series, portraying Nora Charles, an intelligent and witty partner to her detective husband. Loy's characters demonstrated equality and partnership rarely shown in films of that period. Off-screen, she supported civil rights causes and spoke openly about social responsibility. Joan Crawford rose from poverty to become one of Hollywood's most determined stars. Beginning with flapper roles, she eventually moved into more dramatic parts in films like Rain and Possessed. Her characters often struggled for dignity and independence, reflecting her own relentless ambition. Even as censorship reshaped Hollywood storytelling, Crawford adapted and continued delivering powerful performances, eventually winning an Academy Award for Mildred Pierce. Constance Bennett combined elegance with determination. One of the highest-paid actresses of her time, she starred in films like What Price Hollywood and Bed of Roses. Her characters were often clever, resourceful women navigating complicated social situations. Off-screen, Bennett insisted on negotiating her own contracts, challenging an industry that often dismissed women's authority. Miriam Hopkins became known for her lively performances and sharp intelligence. In films such as Trouble in Paradise and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, she portrayed women who were bold, flawed, and emotionally complex. Her independence occasionally led to conflicts with studio executives, especially as censorship limited the kinds of stories she preferred. Finally, Dorothy McHale represented another daring star of the era. Known for films like Safe in Hell and Love Affair, she specialized in portraying women confronting danger and hardship. Her realistic acting style attracted devoted fans, but stricter censorship eventually limited her film opportunities. She continued performing on stage and radio, demonstrating remarkable resilience. These 15 actresses did more than entertain audiences. They challenged traditions and changed the possibilities for women in cinema. Their bravery, talent, and determination helped redefine female roles on screen. Every barrier they broke created new opportunities for those who followed. Their stories remain powerful reminders that courage and individuality can reshape an entire industry.